got oath to do for these two.
Yes, and first thing is the oath.
Mr. Rush and Mr. Watkins. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and that you will faithfully and impartially discharge your duties as members of the Board of Education of the Canton City School District, Hardin County, Ohio, to the best of your ability and in accordance with the laws now in effect and hereafter to be enacted during your continuance in said office and until your successor is elected and qualified? The answer is I do.
I do.
Will you please sign those? I will keep those on file. You need a witness for each one, and bring board president to sign once we elect the board president.
You ready to roll? All right, we're at the roll.
Mr. Blue?
Here.
Mr. Householder?
Here.
Mr. McCullough?
Here,
Mr. Rush?
Here.
Mr. Watkins?
pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Move on to election of president. Yes, nomination.
I'll move that we elect the president. Well, that's what we have to get the motion on the table first.
All right. All right.
Okay,
Yeah, there we go.
I will, in discussion, I would nominate, Mark McCullough as president.
We'll have the whole board of them. All right, very good. Any other nominations? Anybody?
Good luck.
Yeah. Yep. I move nominations are closed. Vote.
Mr. Householder?
Yes.
Mr. McCullough?
I'll abstain.
Mr. Rush?
Yes.
Mr. Watkins? Mr. Blue?
Yes.
Election of vice president. This motion.
I'll make the motion, Dave Paulson will be vice president.
Anybody else? Vote.
Mr. McCullough?
Yes.
Mr. Rush?
Yes.
Mr. Watkins? Mr. Blue?
Yes.
Mr. Householder?
Yes.
All right. 6.
I was vice
Establish a date, time, location, of regular meetings. Yes, motion to accept.
I'll move that it be the second, or the third Monday of the month at 7 PM at the board office.
Very good. This is what it is today. Well, it's what it is currently.
Yes.
Second.
All right.
Mr. Watkins? Seconded. Good.
Vote.
Mr. Rush?
Yes.
Mr. Watkins? Mr. Blue?
Yes.
Mr. Householder?
Yes.
Mr. McCullough?
Yes. Okay, item 7, authorization for the treasurer to request advance draws of tax settlements of up to $600,000. Okay, Mark, you and Mark, also second. Any discussions? Vote.
Mr. Watkins?
Yes.
Mr. Blue?
Yes.
Mr. Householder?
Yes.
Mr. McCullough?
Yes.
Mr. Rush?
Yes.
Very good. Item 8, authorization for the treasurer to invest interim and inactive funds as deemed appropriate to gain the best interest rate. Motion to accept.
Blue.
Second. Any discussion? Vote.
Mr. Blue?
Yes.
Mr. Householder?
Yes.
Mr. McCullough?
Yes.
Mr. Rush?
Yes.
Mr. Watkins?
Yes.
9, designation of purchasing agent for the district and establishment of maximum allowable single purchases without prior board authority. Purchasing agent Jennifer Kondarski, maximum allowable single purchase amount of $25,000. Motion to accept.
Also.
Second.
Blue.
Any discussion? Vote.
Mr. Householder?
Yes.
Mr. McCullough?
Yes.
Mr. Brush?
Yes.
Mr. Watkins? Mr. Blue?
Yes.
Okay. 10, authorization of cafeteria manager, maintenance supervisor, technology supervisor, and transportation supervisor to purchase supplies and materials up to a maximum of $2,500 per order. Motion to accept.
So moved.
All right.
Also.
Any discussion? Vote.
Mr. McCullough?
Yes.
Mr. Brush?
Yes.
Mr. Watkins? Mr. Blue?
Yes.
Mr. Householder?
Authorization for superintendent to approve staff member attendance at professional meetings. Motion to accept.
Also.
Any discussion? Vote.
Mr. Brush?
Yes.
Mr. Watkins? Mr. Blue?
Yes.
Mr. Householder?
Yes.
Mr. McCullough?
Yes. Okay. Item 11, committee appointments by the president. I guess we don't have one on there. Some of this will have to be shared. I'm getting a motion to accept.
I'll do that.
All right. For Watkins. Second.
Blue.
Now we can discuss it. Several of these will have to be moved, I believe. So is everyone else comfortable with where they're at with the committee?
Yes.
All right. We can move them around, and if it does, if they mark it, if there's something you need to move, we can do that.
Okay.
Who are you gonna put on finance?
Usually, the president goes by.
It's you,
Exactly.
and it could be Russ was on finance before.
Okay.
Tom was on there, so it's you and whoever else that you would go.
All right. David, would you like to be on it?
I would accept.
Very good. All right, so we'll make that one. I guess that.
You can write them down if it's okay, and that way we can record the names.
Yes.
Is that all right with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
We can just check it. So facilities and transportation was Brim and Blue. So who will we appoint to that committee?
I wouldn't mind being on that.
Okay.
Blue and Watkins?
Yep.
I'll be honest, I don't remember the personnel.
That's all right, I'll look at it.
Okay, I thought it was probably Dave and Tom.
I think it was, yeah.
So,
Well, she's looking at it.
I know curriculum and instruction was
Mr. Brim and Mr. McCullough.
Oh,
Brim and
personnel.
McCullough. Okay, personnel. So are you staying on personnel?
I can stay on it. And
Who will replace Tom? Would you like Mark Rush or
on personnel,
he just doesn't have a committee yet? So you know. You,
the personnel will have to meet after, what works out for you.
I just get home about 5:30, but
Okay, well, then we can do that.
I got everything Friday off as well.
All right, then, all right, will you be fine with personnel? All right.
so I have McCullough and Rush. Curriculum and instruction was Householder and Watkins. Is that still okay?
You all right with that? Business and Education Council.
That was me. That was me, and I can continue to do that.
Okay. Cafeteria.
I don't remember. That was
We
Mr.
were
McCullough.
on, yeah,
That was Mr. McCullough and Mr. Watkins.
Was it?
okay.
A lot of action in that one, I guess.
Yeah, there you go.
Gotta find somebody to-
So he's sustaining that one?
On cafeteria.
As long as the demand is the same as it was last.
Yeah, I gotta say, I think we've had a meeting for 7 years. That needs to.
Laura's doing a good job.
Co-curricular music and athletics for McCullough and Watkins.
You want to stay on that tomorrow?
Well,
You wanna go to?
I could be,
There you go.
since I
Yeah.
need the facilities, maybe I can go off that.
You might want to do that. All right, I'll do that.
That's me. Next week.
Okay, Parks and Rec.
Just better that with all of you.
There you go. Our Allen Scholarship is
Mr. Bridge.
Yeah, Tom was always a part of the selection of that. Is he going to continue with that?
Well, he will on his own behalf, I'm sure that he'll work. But on behalf of the board, we have to send a representative. I'm just looking at who's serving on committees. Maybe Mr. Blue, if you would be interested in doing that for us. I'm just looking at how many people are on.
That'd be great.
committees. Would that be all right?
Sure.
Raffers.
That's you.
Policy. I think you're on that right to do.
I was, and Russ got off of that when when he was the president.
Okay.
No, you want to get back on that, but you have transportation. Marker, and I can you replace one, whoever wants to do it, I'll continue to do it.
It's up to you or anybody.
Maybe three, I don't know.
That's about one.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then one in the first, those three.
All right. Okay. I think everybody set with what they got. Very good. Well, let's have a vote.
Mr. Watkins? Yes. Mr. Blue?
Yes.
Mr. Householder?
Yes.
Mr. McCullough?
Yes.
Mr. Rush?
Yes.
Okay, 15, appoint Jennifer Pizarski as a Title IX compliance officer. Sexual discrimination, Title 64, race card, national. Motion to accept. Second. Any discussion? Vote.
Mr. Blue?
Yes.
Mr. Householder?
Yes.
Mr. McCullough?
Yes.
Mr. Rush?
Yes.
Mr. Watkins?
Very good. 14, appoint Michelle Weiss as the Section 504 coordinator.
Blue.
Second. Any discussion?
I just want to explain this. This was typically under my responsibility, but when I did an audit last year of the 504s, we really need an administrator who can be trained and qualified to sit in on all of those meetings. And so in September, I sent Michelle to the trainings. So she is up on all the current legislation, she's up to speed on the whole 504 process, and she is attending every meeting. So since she's technically our coordinator, I think we should document it that way, if that's okay.
Okay. Any further discussion? Vote.
Mr. Householder?
Yes.
Mr. McCullough?
Yes.
Mr. Rush?
Yes.
Mr. Watkins? Mr. Blue?
Yes.
Okay, 15. Motion to adjourn the organizational meeting.
Rush.
All right. Vote.
Mr. McCullough?
Yes.
Mr. Rush?
Yes.
Mr. Watkins? Mr. Blue?
Yes.
Mr. Householder?
I don't know, we've already done the pledge and I'm not sure we have.
I would leave that to your discretion, Mr. President.
Well, we've done a pledge of allegiance once tonight, so I think we'll move right in. We'll do the roll call for the official count.
Mr. Blue?
Here.
Mr. Householder?
Here.
Mr. McCullough?
Yes.
Mr. Blue?
Here.
Mr. Watkins?
Very good.
Okay.
Approve or correction of the minutes of the regular meeting of December 7th, 2015. Motion to accept.
Also.
Second. Very good. Any discussion? Vote.
Mr. Basil,
Yeah.
Mr. McCollum,
Yes.
Mr. Rush,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins, Mr. Wood.
Okay. Participation, principal supervisor of math. Tonight we have the KES Tech list. And fifth grade students. Ladies, I think I'm gonna let you step up. Introduce everyone. Show us what you're doing.
All right, I am Mrs. Kirtley, fourth grade teacher, and we are working with the OSU Extension Service, thank you, to do an after-school program, which is Tech Wizards. This is our fifth year, so we like to come and present to you guys every once in a while, let you know what's going on. It is a 4-H after-school program. It's funded through the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. We work with OSU, so Mark White, the 4-H educator, is also involved, that he right now is attending a conference for Tech Wizards out in Washington, D.C., so he couldn't be here tonight. What we do is we do STEM projects in small groups with mentors. And we have a ratio of 4 kids to 1 mentor. This year, we graduated class, had 24 members, 7 mentors, and next month we will be starting our 6th year at Tech. Let me go ahead and introduce, since I realize some of you. This is Amanda Rain. She's the 4-H program assistant. And they're now 5th graders, but when they started our program, they were 4th graders. We have Nevaeh Murphy, Seth Mans, Drake Grant, and Avery Smith here tonight.
Okay, so I just wanted to share what the goals of the Tech Wizards program are from OJJDP. We are fostering a positive relationship between youth and their mentors. So a lot of our kids in our community are fortunate and have great relationships with their parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles, and they do have adult support. But we do have some who maybe could use an extra adult in their life. So one of the goals of the program is to connect them with an adult that they can be in contact with on at least a weekly basis. And then they also have contact throughout the summer as well. The kids do a lot of different STEM projects. Today we're going to show you our Sphero project that we just completed, but this group is also the group that did the video tour, the virtual tour of the school. They did some experiments with bacteria and testing surfaces of the new school to see where it was the dirtiest. We also did, what else did we do, guys? We did Lego robotics, and what did you say? Oh, he said robotics. And we did some bottle rockets too in the spring. But most of all, we just want to show kids that STEM, science, engineering, technology, math, and even art. Sometimes we add it in the A for STEAM. That these subjects are important and they are more than a desk that you can have fun doing with them. So we're going to let them explain our Sphero project.
Sphero is an orb robot. We can program Sphero using an iPad or a smartphone. There are many apps to program and play with Sphero. Before we started our project, we explored some apps to learn how Sphero works. We used the color grab game, explored virtual reality with Sharky app, wrote simple programs with Macro Lab, and played golf using Sphero golf app.
Was it fun?
So the Sphero company does have apps from kindergarten all the way up through collegiate curriculum. So we did use some of their curriculum to get used to the robots before we programmed our project.
We spent several weeks learning how to program Sphero using MicroLab. Programming a robot means you give it specific directions about what to do. While learning to program, we explored the relationships of distance, time, and speed. We made Spiro draw several different shapes, and we learned about mean, median, and mode while using Spiro as a goal.
Very good, that's great. And so the difference between a median and mean, that's a tricky one, isn't it? Because it's almost like average and mean, but they're not quite exactly the same. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you guys are learning that stuff. I didn't learn that stuff while I was a freshman.
So this is a video of one of our groups doing the bowling challenge, which they had to measure the distance and then try and knock over the pins. It was actually a lot harder than we thought it was going to be, wasn't it, guys? I don't think we got any groups to knock all the pins down.
After we know how to program Spiro, we started the big engineering challenge. We worked in teams of 3 to 4 for building Spiro chariots using craft supplies and Lego. Our chariot had to include 2 wheels and an axle, a platform for a rider, and a harness for Spiro. It was difficult to find the perfect design for speed and sharp turns.
So what was the most difficult?
For my group, it was most difficult to find a way for the chariot to turn.
Just to turn it? Mm-hmm, I can believe that. And keep the harness on. Yeah, very good.
So this is the chariot that one of the teams, these kids designed this one. And what would you guys say is the problem with this one?
Turning.
It doesn't turn very well, it tends to slip. And here's a picture of one of our groups building their chariot. And one of the great things about this grant is we have been able to purchase a lot of equipment that maybe is a little bit more expensive than what you could just afford with your regular budget, at least us at our office.
Mm-hmm.
So the kit that they're working with is the first Lego Mindstorm kit. It doesn't connect to a computer. We bought these, I think, 7 or 8 years ago, and they're totally obsolete. So they've been sitting in our office, and we thought, what better way to use these than to use the parts for a different robot. And right now, through this grant, we also have the newest of the Lego kits that works with iPads and your phone. So we've come a long way since we started the grant.
For the chariots we built, we were ready for the competition. We held our trials in the gym, using the basketball court as our track. Each member took a turn controlling the Spiro chariot, and the average time was 12 for each team. The team who practiced average 1. It was my team. Some of our designs didn't turn very well, not as big as our best, but all our chariots were able to finish with minor fixes.
That's great.
And before we went to the gym, we built a tiny track in the hallway to test while they were doing their designs. And here's one of the groups. It was really easy to feel the team atmosphere when your team member was trying to drive. And it was a lot harder to steer them than it looks like it would be. So before we finish, what we're going to do is everyone's just going to share a little bit about what they like about our program. These kids have been in it for 1.5 years now, so they have experienced a wide range of things. So they're all just going to share a few things that they like. There's only one wrong answer. We talked about it.
My favorite part is starting the year when we first started in 4th grade. We took apart a computer and put it in the
Oh, very cool.
That was my favorite part.
You have to be careful with the pins. Yeah, that's awesome.
I like tech quizzes because we have to make new friends and we learn about I like tech quizzes because I got to meet new friends and play around with all of technology.
Exactly. Very good.
So for this upcoming year, we have secured the grant for year 6, which is, we weren't really expecting this grant to last so long, but the results from across the nation have been so great that they just want to keep it going. So we are going to start year 6. Our new class is going to consist of 3rd and 4th graders this year. We've heard from several parents that the 3rd graders are very, very interested in it. And we've also learned through the national data that the longer a child is in the program and has connection with their mentor, the more positive results it has. So we're going to bring in some 4th graders and have them participate a little bit longer. Our focus for this year is going to be health. So we've written in to get fitness trackers for all the kids so that they can see how many steps they're taking, see how active they are during the day, and think of small changes they can make to be a little bit more active at school. Do we want them being crazy in their seats or going wild in the classroom? No, but just small changes like standing up and using the restroom that is further down the hall. Or could we maybe move the trash can in our classroom so that we get more steps? And then we've also purchased some smart athletic equipment. The basketball will tell you how to improve your foul shot based on angles and math. And the bats and the rackets tell you the speed of your swing and the angle of your swing and how you're connecting with the ball. So we're going to be experimenting with some of those things. Did you have any other questions for us? It's kind of just a brief overview.
I think one thing that I want to point out is when we first started, what's nice with teaming up with the Extension Service, as technology is changing so rapidly, we've been able to keep up with the technology also. The Sparrows, which our iPad died, these were bought with a grant that I wrote with the Hardin County Foundation grant. So some of the equipment we buy and we use together, and some of the equipment they buy through the national grant. But we've been able to keep up with the technology, so it's always changing. So what we did at the beginning 4 or 5 years ago is no longer.
That was all Lego stuff.
Yeah.
I remember.
So it's kind of fun to watch the kids, and the kids are now growing with it and seeing what's changing. So that's been exciting. So we will be starting, and one of the changes this year, we have to keep in line with the grant, and they changed, instead of going with the school year, they go with the calendar year. So now we're kind of going from January to December.
Mhm.
So, any questions?
Now, you're turning on your chariot. Remember your Romans. Study history, and the Romans will teach you how to turn a chariot.
We did look at a few pictures of chariots from different historical periods, but.
That's one of the, I think one of the neat things is they try things, they don't work, they go back to the drawing board.
Awesome.
And I would say that none of them give up very easily. They just keep, if that didn't work, let's try something else.
Well, it's not wrong. It's just not quite exactly right on how to do it, right? You just found a way to not do it. Now
And
just figure out again.
I will say, we got ready for this presentation, and we did have a few pictures thanks to really great volunteers. Our mentors were taking pictures. But we were so involved in the activity that we didn't have kids take video and pictures very much. And then at the end of the activity, we dismantled all the chariots really quickly so that we could move on to something else. So today, when I met with them this morning, they said, well, we can't have recess. We need to rebuild our chariots. We have something to show them. So that was quite a pride for me because, giving a recess, even if it is cold, is telling me we're doing something right.
Wonderful. Well, nice job, you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We never had any stuff like that.
Now, we got the sticks.
Literally.
They were called, they were called. Think of more.
Yeah, think it long.
We appreciate you being part of our meeting tonight, but we don't require you to stay, so.
It's long and boring, yeah.
So you're welcome to stay for long. All right, so number 5, public participation. All right.
Turn it on.
I closed the lid. Do you want it open?
No, I want it off.
And talk about things that happened during our time that we had the levy.
Right.
And I'm sure everybody read it in the paper, and it was a wonderful job, and thank you, Mr. Tom for going through that. But I wanted to just clarify one thing. While the board had some direction on things to look at, on how we could analyze our savings, it was Jennifer Pingarski that did all of the work. It wasn't the board. And I just want to make sure that everybody's aware of that the person that drilled down on all those numbers and spent the time to figure it out was our superintendent. And so that just goes to show the level of dedication that she has in this district, financially and professionally. So I just want to make sure that that's clear, and I thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? Okay. Move on to 6. Reports of treasurer. Motion to accept.
All for.
Any discussion?
Did you get all your reports, Mark?
Yes,
That you could
Yeah.
read down through? Figure out?
I met with Tracy, so, yeah.
Some of those are overwhelming.
Yeah, the
Kind of
detail.
follow through and
Check
yeah,
register
it's
stuff.
a little
Yeah.
too much.
Did you read every one?
No.
It's.
I opened every one, I don't think I read every one.
Yeah, yeah, my favorite one, and Tim caught this in the meeting, is that budget versus action. It's a really quick
Yes.
synopsis of how you can get down to the numbers.
Yeah.
We didn't ever have that until Tracy came along and Jennifer and Tracy worked together to put that out there.
That's great.
Yes. All right. Anything else? Vote.
Mr. McCullough?
Yes.
Mr. Rush?
Yes.
Mr. Watkins? Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Mr. Householder?
Yes.
Superintendent's report.
We had our first calamity delay this morning, so I just wanted to remind everyone that if you're not getting the call regarding the calamity days or any information for the district, if you just notify your building office, your building secretary, they can make arrangements to put you on the list. The same goes the opposite direction. So if you would like your name removed, if you no longer have a child in the district, or maybe your phone number changed, and for some reason you're getting calls from me at 5 a.m. in the morning or 8:30 at night, you need to call and make sure that we have the phone number that needs to be removed. Because a lot of times we get calls that say, will you please remove us? But we don't have a name or a phone number. So we're not able to do that. And the next time you call, you're mad at us again. So if you can help us, we'll help you and make sure that list is as accurate as possible. And I think the other reminder is that Friday, we have our staff records day. So we do not have school on Friday. And then I think the following Wednesday, which would be the 20th, we have a staff professional 2-hour delay. That's really all we have other than.
If you can work the weather out to have the 2-hour delay on that day,
That would be
that
perfect.
would work out.
Except I think the staff might ask them if they have a delay or not, how comes Watkins.
I have to go to work.
Send my way.
Yeah.
Anyway. We actually have a really good, just to kind of thank the superintendents in Hardin County, we have a really good team this year. So we have a lot of different people driving a lot of different areas, and really good collaboration amongst us all, especially. Which is really nice. That's nice to have all of them, but
Committee reports. Finance.
Finance did meet last week, and we went over several items. The first was the paving, having the paving refurbished, the Macintosh paving, and I think you all saw the quotes. $1,513.50 to have that done.
That's cheaper than I thought.
Me too.
Well, I think it was about triple that here about 4 years ago. We had a look at it.
Yeah.
That's pretty reasonable considering other estimates we've had.
Tracy did a lot of research.
I was contacting museums and trying to find somebody that would give a recommendation, and
Was it hard? I mean, did they know what, I mean, they can't.
well, most didn't want to give a recommendation.
Okay.
So I finally got somebody to tell me about this restoration place, and they do restorations from all over
Well, I appreciate you working on that,
Yes, I do
because it's
too.
important to our district, and I really appreciate you taking the time.
And the really interesting thing was to be, when I took it up there, a young man that works on like monuments, he goes, that guy's from Alaska, wasn't he? He says, well, he was from Alaska, and he recognized that, that's
You knew
still,
what else?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, no, he was,
Originally,
So,
and then we deported him, and I saw that, but my, where is the restriction you got?
they're up in Oberlin, Ohio.
Any idea how long it takes?
No, because it took 4 months to get. They said, you're not in any hurry, are you?
It's sat there for a while, 20 years or something. It'll be fine. Okay.
moving on, we also discussed farm rental, which is coming due. And the Garden Central contract, which we'll be discussing in the executive session this evening. Then we had discussion, the band is wanting to replace their uniforms. And there was some discussion about how to finance that, and we did some research. Jennifer and Teresa did our research. And it was 1996, the last time we bought uniforms. And the board put the money up front, and then the boosters repaid. It was a 5-year project. The boosters repaid for the money that they loaned. So we discussed that, whether we're interested in doing that to help out.
I asked Travis, and he did a really nice job with the research of the uniforms, and he could talk all the information in the company and all the process. But I did ask Travis to go back to the boosters and create a proposal. So what they would actually need to borrow them. So I think they're even having a special meeting tonight. So we should be seeing that real soon.
And that is exactly what we did with the Coral Group and the Risers.
Correct.
We funded that, and
And I think even the curtain.
The current.
Yes.
So we just asked for the same process.
I think that's it.
We should be
I
able to
don't see
move by
any
his
problem
March
with that.
deadline.
And I think it all worked out, all those projects worked out well.
Yeah, I think that'll work out.
Yep, I do too.
Then we discussed a couple of the personnel issues, so other than that, that's just a finance meeting.
Okay.
Do you want to ask that question? You should.
Oh, yeah,
Did we get our final payment?
how do we have that?
Yes, we did.
Okay, perfect.
Uh,
That question was if we got our final farm payment from last year's contract. Because we get half in the beginning and half at the end. Perfect.
We thought, no one had ever looked at that contract to make sure that it's a good contract and finding it real. So
We
did
couldn't
send that,
identify who did it.
we sent that to the attorney.
So we just wanted to get it refined, especially since, there's, given the area and the terms for
I'm
when
sure
it's paid out.
Came out of the.
Yeah, I honestly couldn't say, I don't know.
I mean, the only thing I changed was the description because of, less land.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, so that is right now being reviewed by the attorney.
Okay.
Excellent.
And we'll get the, out there, I was going to ask Mark and Mark, these two Marks, about whether,
Mark one and
how
Mark
many
two.
years we should go advertise for that.
Right.
Depending on the gray market, and where you see things happening. You can go 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, I don't know, I wouldn't even want to.
I would say like to stay 2 years.
Can we get $1,000?
Would you want to hear that? So,
I'm not sold anymore.
Yeah.
One thing we just may want to clarify, because I don't know, we've had a lot of questions, I've had a lot of questions about the resolution that we passed last month for Hardin Central. So just to be clear, the Hardin Central property is not sold. So the contract is not finalized. We're still in the process, just like when you buy a house, you have some negotiation back and forth once you get a letter of intent. The resolution was basically to give us the authority, given these parameters, to execute the contract. So we're really close, but I know I got a lot of questions after the board meeting about that we had sold it. And the truth is that we're entering a contract to sell it. It's not been finalized. I just thought maybe we should clarify those points. I don't know if any of you had questions, but,
It's still a work in progress.
right.
Yeah, and it's a slow process, as with anything else. Any kind of commercial state.
Because we've got to make sure everybody knows who's responsible for what.
Contracts are. And that's what we'll be working on.
Okay, anything with facilities?
We haven't officially met, but we have been open to just some options on, getting the west garage. How we're going to do that down the road, so. But as a committee, we haven't met officially.
We still have to really look at the brickwork for the middle school, and that's been a hot topic. So the restrooms, are pretty much done, so all the facility repairs and students and faculty, I heard real positive things about the repairs that was done at the high school, were great, so.
Okay. Anything else on facility?
There was a meeting of the building committee, whether the core teams.
We did about closeout.
Yeah, how's that shaping up at this point?
I think honestly, we're really close. So I think help me Tracy, because you were there might be 3 things that aren't done, if you will, or finalized. One would be the site work. So there has to be some things done with seating and how all that will work. One aspect of it was still some of the drainage, and I don't know if concrete was included in that. I believe all the concrete's done now, but there was some drainage and tile work.
And reshaping.
That had to be done.
There were some washes around the east side on the soccer field that had to be
Yes, right.
repaired.
Yes, so those are the drainage kind of issues. And then the third one is back to bathrooms. You have to get the flush valves changed. The ones in the company that were, I don't know, voted to do the job, they really haven't functioned properly. And so in the past couple, probably now even last spring and this fall, we've actually identified the type of flush valve that we need. And so it's just a matter of finalizing that and replacing those. So those are the 3 major items that remained open. Is that pretty much? And we still have the option, just so you know, and I did not agree to it in the core team meeting to do the extra concrete work out front. I just think we can get a good quote and to do that once the project's closed, instead of keeping it open, just to add that concrete out front. So, and the quote was pretty high.
Yeah.
So I would rather just do that on our own. I may still think it's important to get the concrete out front, but what I'm talking about is a strip right in front of the elementary. So basically, if you're walking the path, you have to walk in front of the elementary school because there's no concrete straight across.
Sidewalk.
Yeah, sidewalk way out by the road.
So we opted not to take that out of LFI and to do it on our own. I think that was pretty much, was that what you think?
Yes, and we're hoping that, they sent us something that they were gonna release all of the retainage, but that has now backed off, and we'll still be having
They want to get those 3 things done.
those things done, so we'll have a 30,000 retainage. Is what he sent out today.
So was this now just keep those?
Yes, that won't be released to motion yet.
Okay.
I haven't gotten that final yet, because it was just only out for signatures, but.
And for what it's worth, I just had a text from people watching us on the internet, because we don't have mics, they can't hear us.
Oh,
So because we're using Ryan's camera tonight, so if you could speak up, our audience that's watching us would appreciate it.
oh,
I
Okay,
don't
so
know
when
how
you,
many that is, but I've got one text.
so when you speak right over to the camera, speak into
Just
the.
speak up a little bit so that everyone can hear,
There you go.
if you don't mind.
Okay. Extracurricular committee, we didn't have a meeting.
Yeah. Things are going on, but
I did have a request though. There is one thing in the press box in the high school, the gym. There's an old camera mount that needs to be removed because it takes up a lot of space that they don't use. It takes about 2 minutes and I have the tools to take it out every night. When they're setting up their books up there for like, if there's 2 radio station, TV, film, they probably lose 2 feet up on the press box, up on the platform. And they don't use it anymore. Take a couple of minutes, they can be going. So see if we can get that done this week. That's all I've got. Career Center, Russ?
We're meeting Wednesday for our reorganization meeting, our first meeting of the year. We really haven't done it since Christmas break.
You should have gotten an email from Linda about the all boards.
All boards, right.
Russ and I usually hold down the fort by ourselves, but we would love to have anyone attend that could attend. They provide a dinner. It's done by the students. They take care of everything, serving, making the food. And then usually they have a speaker and the boards are introduced. And so if you have interest in that, I think the deadline to attend that is coming up for Linda to submit. You would just text or email Linda and she would make the reservation for you. You and your spouse
Right.
are welcome to
And
attend.
it's always a good time. And if you had anything else planned that night, you can cancel because it's always the worst weather of the year, so. If you don't do anything else-
Russ will drive you, right? Russ will drive you. He'll get you there.
It's been terrible last week. But it's a good time.
All right, policy? Any policy?
Nope, we didn't, we haven't had any policy.
Very good. Old business? New business? Okay, personnel items. This will be for 11A through 11H. I'm going to read through all of them. It's basically resignations, approved volunteers, medical leave, approved. Yep, athletics. We've got another volunteer for Club Roar. Always glad to get volunteers. Again, this is available online. We have copies up here available for it also. So it's public record. Motion to accept. Also ordered, please. Any discussion?
I'd just like to thank a lot of the people on the list, like I said, the volunteers, and some of the coaches that are resigning their positions. We appreciate everything they've done. They've had some successful programs, but they have other interests that they'd like to move on to, and we appreciate all their time and effort.
I agree. It's kind of a thankless job.
Yeah.
I agree.
Jennifer, could you, the bus driving position, what are you using him for?
He's driving one of the tutor routes. So remember that the after-school club or programming, we now added 5th and 6th grade. So it's on 6-week cycles. The first 6 weeks, we just wanted to try it out, see what enrollment would be. So we did K4. Because we're doing K6, Brian can't get all the kids on 2 buses, which is what I think it was. So this would be the 3rd. And so it's great. That just means that I think we have over 122 kids participating this 6-week cycle, and there's still 2 more because there's a summer one as well.
Great.
Excellent. Anything else? All right, vote.
Mr. Watkins?
Yes.
Mr. Blue?
Yes.
Mr. Householder?
Yes.
Mr. McCullough?
Yes.
Mr. Rush?
I'm gonna abstain, I have family member in that mix, so.
Good call.
Approve of everything, but just because of the family situation.
Excellent. That's fine. All right, 12.
We just left that on in case.
What's that?
Sometimes we have last minute resolutions, so we didn't.
I guess I was gonna ask you about
Yeah.
the authorizations and resolutions.
Yeah, sometimes things come in
Is this
the
just
morning.
like a blank page that we just fill in?
Yeah, this is one of those rare times that nothing had to be filled in. That's positive.
Okay.
I'll move that we go into executive session with no further business to come before the board.
Anybody, second? Vote.
Mr. Householder?
Yes.
Mr. McCullough?
Yes.
Mr. Rush?
Yes.
Mr. Watkins?
Yes.
Mr. Blue?
Yes.
I guess time it would be
7:47.
Yep. Very good. This next regular board meeting will be February 15th, 2016, 7 p.m.
No, I'm always like-